for Greatness podcast.
What is up, Internet? Welcome to the Hunt for Greatness podcast, and I got my man Elvis on tonight. Elvis, what is up? Elvis Ali, everybody. What's up, man?
Nothing. This is great. Look at your setup.
Yeah, you like it?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, you want to probably get that mic just a little closer to your face.
Gotcha.
There you go. Yeah, that's good. Your chair's going to... The only problem with this setup is your chair's going to tend to roll downhill because it was an open carport, so it was built on a slope.
Oh, okay.
So the water would... So I'm like talking to people sometimes, and they're just
leaving.
start sliding down, dude. How you been today, dude?
Not bad. Not bad today.
What you been doing?
I was just editing stuff.
Yeah, what? Like what?
Well, I do these like guerrilla comedy sets and shows and stuff where I walk into places and I ask to perform, and I'm filming a lot more of them now. That's the only reason I was there that night we met. Because I walked in and asked about performing just myself that night. And they were like, oh, we have a show tonight. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll hang out and see if I could do a set.
So, did you know about this set at Cadillac Ranch?
Like the show, did I know about it? No, I didn't know anything.
You just ended up there?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
So how'd you end up there?
Well, I think it was like, I went to downtown Wilmington and I realized this is not going to work here because it was just, everything was so open and just too busy and I didn't feel like driving around that area. So I just looked up something a little further away. And that was the place that came up, Google Maps.
Really?
That's it.
The first like bar venue?
Yeah, that was
saw?
a little further.
And there just happened to be a comedy show?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's not the first time it's happened.
Really?
Yep.
But you call it guerrilla comedy.
Yeah.
So why is that?
Just to perform in front of an actual audience. You know, after a certain point, for me, I was like, I got to get in front of people and not just be around comics all the time.
So what do you normally do? Like what do you mean by that? Is what I'm trying to say.
So I walked in and I talked to the bartender. I said, hey, is it okay if I ask everybody and first who's ever in charge if I just come in and...
Oh, so you were going to perform regardless if there was a comedy show?
Yes.
You were. So you have your own mic or you just assume...
Yes.
Oh.
But only with permission.
I got you. So you went in and asked the owner without knowing there was a comedy show that night.
And then he tells me there's a show. And I wasn't sure what he was saying at first, but then I put it together and... Because he was saying he was hosting. Insane. I was like, you're hosting?
Oh, it was Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is crazy.
Yeah.
And then there actually ended up being a comedy show.
Yep.
That's wild, dude. Because, yeah, Brad. That's why I wanted Brad to come. I don't know where Brad's at. Shouts to my boy Brad. I love you, son. Brad come outside, dude, and he was like, dude, this dude named Elvis. He's like, I'm not shitting you, dude. He's like, I shit you not. His name is Elvis. And he's like, he just came up to me and asked me, could he do 5 minutes? And I was like, well, what'd you say? I was like, I knew what he said. He's like, I told him, yeah. I was like, we're going to have fun either watching him kill or watching him bomb. I was like, this is a win-win. Like, we're going to have a good time with this guy. You know what I mean? When nobody knew who you were. I'm like, which guy is it? And he was like, just looks like a normal guy. I'm thinking, like, what does he look like? His name's Elvis. Like, I didn't know if it...
thought like an Elvis person.
No, I just thought, like, you had to be, with a name like Elvis, something, I'm looking for something to stand out, but you
Should
just
I get face tattoos, do you think?
Maybe, dude. Like, of Elvis? Like, or Dolly Parton. You should get a Dolly Parton face tat. You should. But he came outside and he was talking about you. And I'm like, well, this is great. Like, Brad is one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. Like,
yeah, it was really nice for him to do that. Because that's happened before, and they've said no. So, and I get it. Like, who am I? So he does seem like a really nice person.
So yeah, he is. He's a great guy. So you go to bars with your own mic and amplifier.
Yep.
Correct.
That's
so
right.
you have that in your van, which we'll talk about later.
Okay.
So you go to bars just randomly.
Yep.
And say, hey, like, all right, so you look for the owner of the bar.
Let's do it.
All right, hey, man, I own this bar, dude.
It's a very nice bar you got.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I put a lot of work into it.
I could tell. It's really, really nice.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
How you doing tonight? You doing good?
Terrible, buddy.
Doing terrible?
I'm just kidding. I'm here. I do say that. I'm here to see if you're all right. If I ask everybody, and they all said it would be okay with them if I did some stand-up comedy here.
What do you mean? If you ask everybody in the bar?
That's right.
And get their permission to...
That's correct. And if anybody says no, even if it's one person, I won't single them out. I'll just leave. But if they all say yes, which usually is the case, then I'll bring in an amp and a mic, and I'll do a short set.
If everybody says yeah, then I guess you could do it. That's fine.
All right, man. Thanks.
Cool? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's pretty cool, dude. Like, you do your own, you call that guerrilla comedy.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, why the name? Did you tell me that yet?
No, I mean, it's like guerrilla warfare.
It is like guerrilla warfare, isn't it?
But, guerrilla marketing, you've heard all that stuff.
Percentages. Okay, what's the percentage of bars that will let you perform versus bars that will not let you perform so far in your career?
I would say 20 to 30% say yes.
Really?
Yeah, maybe even less sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, but what's
Wasn't
weird, like
expecting that.
I'll get into a town. Were you expecting more?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
I was thinking at least 50-50. You're a likable dude. Like, you don't
never
look
know.
like you're going to go up there and make people leave.
Yeah, and you know what I tell them too? I'm like, look, if I notice it's not working, the first few minutes, I'll just wrap it up.
Yeah.
And it's really,
Okay.
a lot of times it doesn't work, so I just wrap it up.
Okay.
And I got to take the L. There's no excuses. I just got to be like, okay.
If you can make it work and those people did not come out to see a comedy show,
Yeah, it's nice.
that's how you know that you have good material, I feel like.
That's it. That's one of the main reasons, yeah. That's
And if
exactly
it's a
it.
small crowd, because they're not pretty much, for the most part, I feel like smaller crowds don't laugh to be polite, and then the laughter is not as contagious in a smaller crowd as it is in
Yeah.
I feel like bigger crowds are easier,
They can
almost. Yeah, I mean, in my experience, my jokes might not be hitting like they were the previous night, but they're doing better in a room.
Yeah, and
with-
laughter is contagious.
It is contagious. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's crazy, dude. Guerrilla comedy. How long
Yeah,
you
I
been
love it.
doing this, man?
Just like that, guerrilla stuff? Man, over 5 years.
So you've been just straight up in this guerrilla warfare for 5 years, bro.
I'm out there, dude.
Wow, bro.
Well, and I mean, afterwards, I'll sell shirts. I'll get everybody's social media stuff, and that's part of it as well.
Like promoting yourself.
Yeah. I didn't do that the first few years I were doing that. I was so dumb. I didn't do any of that. I would just come in, do the set, and bounce. So stupid. I had an email list I was collecting, and I got to like close to, I know it's over 2,000, but I should have just done the social media.
Yeah, from the jump.
Yeah.
So I'll plug your Instagram in the podcast so people, Instagram, whatever your social media is, plug it.
Elvis Comedy. Pretty much everything is Elvis Comedy.
At Elvis Comedy on Instagram.
And Twitter, and elviscomedy.com as a portal that you can just take through all those places.
What's elviscomedy.com like? What do you have on there? You have any sets recorded?
Yeah. The one cool thing I did that I guess people think is kind of interesting is I performed at Waffle Houses. I did a tour where I did 50 different Waffle Houses, and I filmed it. And that was before I knew how to really film. I mean, I still really suck at it, but back then I didn't know, so the audio was just messed up. But I did
50 Waffle Houses?
28 days.
Wow, I'm going to move this so I can see you better. So, all right, so you did guerrilla comedy to get those shows too?
Yeah. I would just go and ask and always get permission. I never do. And I hate when, like, if a bartender or like whoever's the manager, like, oh, no, I'll just ask. I'm like, no, dude, let me do it. Because then I'm also going around, like, seeing who's there. Trying to figure out, like...
What's your
what's gonna
audience?
happen. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's probably beneficial. You're gonna have a little mini conversation with everybody there.
Yes.
And then they're gonna be like, oh, this is an actual person. It's not just somebody...
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes when you do comedy, especially open mic at Dead Crow, you ever done that?
No, I've never been here.
Okay, yeah. So you've never been to Wilmington?
Actually, the one time I was in like New Bern, this area, I was during the Waffle House tour.
So you decided one day you're going to do a Waffle House tour.
Yeah,
And it's
it
clean
wasn't
comedy.
Well, depends. It's a Waffle House. Sometimes it wasn't clean.
Yeah, I
It's a
feel like
Waffle
you can
House.
get pretty raunchy in a Waffle House.
But usually it was clean, and it wasn't my idea. I was in New Orleans, and like a friend I had there, I think he stole cell phones. I'm not sure what this guy was doing.
Steals cell phones?
I think he was stealing.
Oh,
cell phones.
wow, dude. Ganking them digits,
He
bro.
was an outdoor like painter. He used like fire, and he was painting, and he had like techno music, and I think he also fixed cell phone.
Steal it from you, fix it, and give it back
He was
for
always
a
fixing
low
cell
price.
phones. And he like was like, well, I want to see this guerrilla comedy thing. I'm like, well, it's kind of like too late. He's like, why don't we just go to a Waffle House? I'm like, a Waffle House, okay. So then we did that, and we went to a New Orleans Waffle House. And I don't know how it went. I really don't remember. I'm sure it was eventful. And he thought, this would be cool if you did a tour where you only performed at Waffle House. And I was like, that's so stupid. Why would I ever do that? And then I ended up doing it.
So you walk in and say, well, who's the manager on duty?
It's always the cook.
So the cook is the manager on duty.
Always.
Okay, so you go in and you're like, who's the manager on duty or whatever, and it's the cook.
Yeah, always.
And you're like, hey, man, and you say the same exact thing you just said, if I can get permission from everybody here, can I do a stand-up comedy show in here?
Yes.
Wow, at a Waffle House.
Yeah, there's
40 of them.
on my website.
40 of
50
them.
of them.
50 of them.
Yeah, 50 in 28 days. I was trying to do 31 days, but I was just like, it got too much.
What possessed you to, and you're not making money off of this?
Well, now.
Or you'll get tips?
Yeah, no, now I'll get tips. I'll sometimes make more money, at the guerrilla stuff than the paid shows.
Like people will just be like, hey.
Yeah, or, they'll buy shirts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got some shirts, I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
I'm going to need one before you leave.
Okay, I'll give you one.
No, I'll buy it from you.
It's $180.
Oh, my God. Okay, yeah, you should give me one, dude, because I don't have that much. So you'll sell merch, you'll plug your websites and stuff.
Yeah.
Were you plugging stuff when you were doing the Waffle House? Was this like pre-guerrilla, was this your beginning of guerrilla comedy, or were you doing bars before that? Oh, you said you were doing bars before that.
You mean like before
before Waffle House
stuff?
No, before Waffle House tour. Were you guerrillaing?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
I just never thought of doing the Waffle House.
That's so crazy. I've never heard anything like
Denny's.
You've done a Denny's, dude?
Oh, yeah. One night I tried. I was like, this would be cool to do an ER room. So I went to like 6 different hospitals. Didn't work out. They said no. And then I never. But I thought it'd be nice, because there's like all that tension and people are like, it's tense. I think, and they're just waiting there. I think a little bit of
being in the waiting room and you're in pain.
Yeah, you're in pain.
Physical
or you're
pain,
scared, or it could be a horrible idea. They're like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
So
I would ask them.
Homeless shows, homeless shelter shows.
Yeah.
So you do those?
Yeah, those are. Yeah, that's what.
Tell me about those.
Well, I just go in. No, that's like a lot of planning. I got an email. That lady that's supposed to get back to me, she hasn't got back to me. I don't want to say.
What are they like? Is what I'm asking you. Like,
the shows.
Like, how do they actually go? What are they like?
It really depends, man. A lot of different shelters.
Seems like it could be very tough to me.
It can be very tough. It can be, and there's like when we do that, I'm pretty sure she'll say yes. Like you can't hit back. So if they're mean to you, or you just gotta take
it. Okay.
Yeah, you can't be like, it's not like a heckler. You can destroy the their life's in shambles. You don't want to be mean to them.
You have to remember, like, these people were at their all-time low.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was listening to this thing about pain today, and like how we deal with pain and how not to like compartmentalize our pain and let it build up and build up and build up so it comes out in these unhealthy ways. Like, I feel like I've dealt with pain in such unhealthy ways my whole life, and it's like, it's definitely gotten better over the last 10 or so years when I quit doing drugs and shit.
That's good.
Like, yeah, because it was out of control. Like, a lot of bad consequences. But I didn't know that that's what I was doing. But it was just pain that I was trying to. Anyway, so I've been at some lows and been homeless, and it's like.
You have been homeless?
Yeah. I was living in motels. Does that count?
Well,
I mean, I wasn't completely broke. Didn't know where I was going to sleep that night. If I was going to sleep in my car or sleep in a motel.
You were sleeping in your car. Yeah. Technically.
I was nodding out my car. Because I was on drugs. I was like...
Oh, you were not.
So I wasn't... I guess I was sleeping. I was part of the Nod Squad, dude. I was a member of the Nod Squad, yes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, I mean, I've been through some lows, and, like...
Yeah.
It would have took a whole lot to make me laugh, I feel like.
It does sometimes, yeah.
So you're doing all clean material at these homeless shelters?
Yeah, 99% of the time.
For the most part.
I have to. And they go really different. Like, some shelters are disorganized and it's just anything goes and people are like messed up, on drugs there. Or it's, it's there's wet and dry shelters. Wet shelter, you can be on drugs. Dry, you can't be.
Right.
There's different amounts of discipline. There's mental health issues. Some shelters are really just like a mental health facility.
Right.
People are really just gone. So I've done, those.
God, that's got to be tough.
Yeah, or they're really nice, or they're just like people that are going through a hard time, or it's a family thing where it's not like, just the families that are going through a hard time, and they're fine. A lot of them even have jobs, so it really varies. It can be really nice, or it could just be.
So it's kind of like regular comedy then, because regular comedy can be really shitty, or it could depend on me.
Are extra levels of shitty. Though.
Oh,
compare it,
like you can get no laughs sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes no laughs.
I mean, like a regular. But yeah.
You did great at Cadillac Ranch, by the way. Dude, when you said, bro, you said, have I been talking 5 minutes? And they were like, they said something like, keep going or something. You go, all right, guys, strap in or something like that. You said, dude, and I just started dying outside. I was standing outside smoking a cigar. I'm like, this dude's a fucking trip, bro. I just love that, dude. I love how you were like, nah, I'm just kidding. Like you said it with such confidence.
Like I was gonna do like a 30.
Yeah, you go, all right, guys, strap in. You go, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that was great.
Time.
But yeah, you had a great set. Like
You too.
We were all kind of not surprised, but like when some guy just shows up,
I would be surprised,
bro. When some guy just shows, like it's happened there before.
Yeah, some drunk guy. Yeah.
Yeah, some drunk guy who is funny, but not stand up funny.
Exactly.
Like funny for me and you to like. We'll have a conversation. We can laugh at how fucking dumb you are. You know,
you could be a funny person.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just not a stand up comedian.
Yeah, and the guy did. I mean, the guy did good for his first time. I think. But it's happened there before. It's like, and Chase is not a comedian. The host,
he's good.
He's not a comedian, and I was like, I like Chase so much. I'm like, bro, I'm not coming back here unless you host the show. I was like, because you're such a likable guy. Like you're funny just being yourself. So you don't have to have these big hitting jokes if you don't want to. You can just host the show, have fun, talk to your people in your bar. They get to know you better. They're like, oh, this guy's not scared to go take a microphone and host a show.
Yeah, and it increases the chances to listen.
Yeah,
the other guy.
Yeah, exactly. And like it kind of gets us street cred in his bar, like off gate, because he's the owner and he's like well respected by the biker, because it's a biker bar. Mm-hmm. So he's like well respected by the not clients, I guess you would call them
community.
Yeah, the bar community at his bar, he's well respected. So, and he's always buying food for the bar, like pizzas, and
that's nice. Yeah.
He feeds people. You know, he's just a nice guy.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not coming back unless you host the next show. I was like, you can do it. He's like, all right, I guess that's the challenge. He's like, I guess I have to. And he came up and he had like 4 really good jokes.
He
like,
did?
Yes, he had 4 jokes and they had good punchlines. It was like lulls in between, like, you know, like any new comic would have, thinking things are funny, trying to figure out what's funny for an audience, you know.
Yeah. I think he did great.
Oh, he did really good. He's had new material every time. I'm like, damn, bro, you wrote 4 or 5 new minutes. It's like because it's every month. It's the last Wednesday of every month that we do comedy there.
He's probably going to some other city practicing his ass off.
He was like, bro, it's the 4th time I've ever done it. Yeah, he probably is. But he did great. And like I met him like years ago. He was fishing on my buddy's boat, and I could not remember his name because I just fished with him one time. And I saw him again at Cadillac Ranch. I'm like, man, you look familiar. And I figured out I had fished with him before. And we just kind of hit it off, and I was just talking to him, and I'm like, this fucking guy's awesome. You know, he reminds me of Brad a lot. Like, I love Brad.
It seems like they're friends.
They're tight. Yeah, they're tight. I think they've known each other for years. But, yeah, you had a great set, dude. I'm like trying to figure out jokes without going to open mics. And, like, I got probably once a week that I can go out just because I don't want to be gone from the family. Like I just don't. Like I want to be here with the little boys. They're so cute, dude.
So how are you writing? I know they're adorable. Or the one I saw.
Oh, dude, yeah. They're just.
How are you writing then?
Writing jokes?
Well, yeah. How are you coming up with your material?
A lot of writing. Like,
nice.
Like I'll come up with premises in my, because I work by myself all day. Okay. So, like, I'm by myself all day, so I'll turn everything off and just kind of be with my thoughts. Nice. And, like, certain things will come in. I'm like, all right, that might could be something. I'll put, a premise down or an idea, and I'll kind of build on it for a few minutes or as much as I can build on it, like, even if it's stuff that's not funny. Like, that Neil Armstrong bit, that was the first time I've ever tried it, and I got to figure it out because it's so, like, interesting that we blew the fucking flag over with rocket thrusters. Yeah. That's fact. So, like, yeah, I didn't either. And I started looking into it. I'm like, bro, I got to come up with some speculation what happened between the takeoff and the blowing over the flag. Like, I just think it could be such a fun, but it's so different than what my bits are usually, like, stuff that happens in my life. Yeah. And I exaggerate the shit out of it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, normally that's how my bits go. But yeah,
that's a good book. You ever hear the Comedy Writing Workbook by Gene Perrette?
Comedy Writing Workbook.
Yeah,
no.
It's not some guy talking about comedy. It's like a writing exercises by a guy that used to. I think he was a head writer for the Bob Hope or something during that. He's like self-taught, but it's just all different exercises to write.
Like a prompt.
Yeah, it's like a textbook essentially on how to write jokes.
Really?
Yeah.
So give me an example, like something like, would he say, hey, like a life thing? Like how would they prompt you to write normally?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I can even really remember an example, but like he'll give you an example. He'll give you like several examples. He'll tell you what it is, give you several examples, and maybe there's like a little introduction to the concept he's introducing there, and then give you examples, and then tell you to do it.
Like a stand-up concept. He's
No.
trying to teach you like callbacks.
A writing No.
Oh, okay.
This isn't like it's not a book about stand-up, really. It's really a book about writing jokes.
Oh, okay.
It's a great book.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get that. It's probably cheap.
Well, I don't know. I think it's like probably less than 20.
Yeah, it's like $20 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I got it
need
a long
it.
time ago.
I need
It's a lot of work, though, dude.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did it help you
It did help me.
a lot?
Yeah, I wish I would have finished. I'm almost done with it. I wish I would have done it earlier.
Yeah. How long you been doing comedy?
10 years, I think, at this point.
10 years. How old are you?
32.
32. Yeah, I thought you were one. When's your birthday? August?
7th.
August 7th. You told me August.
Yeah. Wow. That's good.
Yeah.
How do you
My
remember
dad's
that?
birthday's in August. When you told me August, I'm like, yeah, I like this guy already because I love my fucking dad and his birthday's in August.
I love my fucking.
I love my fucking dad, bro.
That's nice.
Yeah, dude. I try to like, I don't trust people like a lot. You know what I mean? I have trust issues, so I try to always find the good. Like I try to always see the good in people, and it helps me with like trust issues that I have. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I don't know if that makes sense. But, like people are inherently good. Like we hear all the bad shit
Yeah.
on social media. Like we see all these videos of violence and all this shit that like sucks you in. Because like positive things, I don't think they suck you in like the negative things do sometimes.
It doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't seem like
I mean, really, probably not. You remember, like, you'll have a good day and one bad thing will happen, and I'll be like, damn it.
Yeah, why
Remember
is that?
It's the worst, isn't it?
It's the worst, dude.
I hate that.
It's like 10 great things happen
Yeah.
and one thing that's bad. Or really, it's just an event and like we see it as good or bad.
Yeah,
Like,
we'll perceive it as a bad thing.
yeah, it's not like there's not a fucking book that has good things and bad things, and like there's a list of these things and a list of that, and that's it. It's just how we look at it.
Yeah.
And how we, some days, dude, like my acceptance of things is better. Like I can have somebody talking trash to me at work, and I'm just like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like whatever.
Oh, yeah, it won't bother you.
Whatever. And then some days I'm like, all right, I'm going to fuck your shit up. Like I'm going to passive aggressively fuck your shit up. But I fix furniture for a living. So like anything that, like I work for Ashley Furniture, and anything them guys damage
It's a good
going.
company.
Yeah, so anything they damage, I fix, like recover stuff and like fix leather, microfiber. That's fake leather, but it was terrible, and I just recovered it and put it in here. They were going to throw it away. It was peeling and shit. That's the type of stuff I do. Like woodwork, like faux finish.
Oh.
So like if you had a table and had a chip in it, I would faux finish that to where you couldn't tell there was
Wow.
so they don't have to exchange the piece, send two guys out. That's what I do. So and like I deal with paperwork, so I will put your shit to the bottom of the stack real quick if you give me a fucking attitude on a bad day. And but like today I was getting some shit and I'm just like, it doesn't bother me.
That's good. That means you had a good day.
Yeah.
You were making good choices that day.
Maybe.
today.
I mean, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Do you meditate?
You know, I not like actively do I sit down, but when I don't listen to any music when I drive, and I'll drive for hours.
That's meditate. That's how I come up with a lot of comedy, dude.
Yeah.
Is by not listening to anything.
Yeah, I don't. I try to really not consume much entertainment. Period.
Mm.
And it's hard not to. These phones are just.
They are, dude.
But
We were talking about how addictive they were, weren't we, outside of Cadillac
yeah,
Ranch?
we were. Yeah, you said you started this to kind of like relearn how to communicate.
Yes. And I've always been like, okay, so whenever I was hooked on like painkillers and whatnot. So when I was doing that, I really forgot how to talk to people because it dumbed me down to like an animalistic level, and it was like one thing that I wanted all the time, and like nothing else mattered. So it was like I was so focused on this one thing that all other language and communication skills just went by the wayside. Have you seen Castaway with Tom Hanks?
Yeah, with Tom Hanks.
Remember how he's talking to the volleyball?
Yeah.
That was me, bro. Like, my best friend was a fucking volleyball dude. Like, I forgot. And you remember how when they did find him, like, he couldn't remember how to communicate with people, and like his
Yeah.
wife had married somebody else, I think, and he was on the plane, and he's like doesn't remember what he looks like he's
Yeah.
looking, it was
How
like
long
that.
were you in that state?
Probably at like bad, probably 4 years, probably
Yeah.
3.5, 4 years, probably longer than that, but that's what I remember.
And how long has it been since
Like
you
10 years. So
Good job.
I was young though. Like I was young when I started doing that shit, and I didn't know about these painkillers and how addictive they could be. And
Yeah, a lot of people get into that.
I didn't know. I broke my kneecap and had painkillers, like a bottle of them, and then went back to them. Was like, oh, these make me feel really good. And I remembered, I wouldn't take them for months, and I remembered how good they made me feel. Like it was in my brain, like just burned in my brain, and then it just ended up being a big problem for me.
Man.
But
I
forgot
didn't believe
how
that
to
for a long
communicate.
time.
What?
That these like regular people will get tricked into, like people that don't have a habit of using drugs. And then I met this couple at a bar, and they both got hooked on whatever, some kind of painkiller.
Oxycontin or
And
something.
they weren't like druggy people. They didn't do any drugs, and they were like doing heroin after a certain point. They started doing heroin. Crazy.
It was probably Oxycontin.
Yeah.
I know you don't consume a bunch of media. There's a show out right now called Dope Sick that is extremely interesting to me. How Purdue Pharma conned the public into taking Oxycontin, and how it was like 80 milligrams.
Yeah,
is
I saw ads for it.
way too 80 milligrams, dude, is way
So
too
it's too
much. Like if you took an 80 milligram Oxycontin, unless you absolutely hated it, you're gonna feel like, even if you hated it, you're gonna feel like shit the next day, and you're gonna be like, why do I feel like shit? Oh, I need another one of those to make me feel normal. I don't know. It's just so much in one pill. Like you can't not feel the hangover, and the hangover is like,
Oh, there is a hangover.
yeah, it's like wanting more though. It's like soreness, because you gotta think about it. If you're blocking all your pain, like there's always a slingshot effect of that.
Yeah, to everything.
Yeah, like
it's
Xanax,
everything.
like
Just
Xanax.
in life, if you're like what you were talking about, compartmentalizing. Pain
Yes.
and,
It's gonna come out.
Psychologically, it comes out as well.
If
So,
I-
yeah, physically, I'm sure, like really comes out.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Xanax is a bad one too, because it's like you're helping your anxiety by taking those. Like you don't give a fuck about anything really when you take a Xanax, So it's like your
You
anxiety.
still feel like yourself though. I've never done Xanax. I don't
Nah,
know.
I had a problem with those as well. Like toward like the last few years of that whole thing I was doing, and like no, because I would steal things, like literally pick up things in a store and put it in my pocket.
Yeah.
And I'm not a thief. Like I don't steal stuff. Like I would not care how my actions affected. How my actions affected you was the last thing on my mind when I took a Xanax. One Xanax. So it was
Just
like
one?
just one.
Why are they like different doses?
Yeah, they are. They are. And I would take the strongest one, but it's like, but even when I didn't take the strongest one, I'd be like, it's kind of like being drunk, but different. It's like being hammered drunk, but nothing's blurry and shit. Like
Does it
it's,
slur your speech?
yeah, it'll slur your speech.
it does.
Yeah, it will slur your speech. And like I've wrecked every time I've been in a car wreck, I've been on Xanax.
Really?
Yeah, so like you can't drive on that shit. But anyway, so it's a slingshot effect with the anxiety. That's why people get seizures and die when they stop taking Xanax.
Oh.
So it's like alcohol. You know how you can die from
Yeah,
DTs from alcohol?
Yeah.
Same thing with Xanax. But I feel like if you numb yourself all the time, if you stop numbing yourself, all those feelings are going to come. All the feelings that you've probably been running from or trying to tell yourself you're not having, I feel like they're not going anywhere just because you
They're
get
not
fucked
going
up.
anywhere. They'll transform into something else. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I feel like maybe, the homeless shelter could be like have a lot of people in it that have problems with stuff like that.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of people that are. But my goal is to try to connect somehow. Like I think humor can connect through people's pain,
Absolutely.
and the fact that there's somebody there that they might not be able to even feel it in the moment, but that somebody took time to go and see them. Because when you're homeless, you are an invisible person in our society. So if you
Yeah,
wanna-
people try not to look you in your eyes.
Yeah, because it's not even that they're bad people. It's just so hard to even see that. When you see somebody in that much pain and you really can't help them, what are you going to do? Give them $100? It's not going to even help them.
Right.
So it's so difficult to even just conceptualize it as just people that are walking around in some city. So they ignore them. But then the effect is that they feel like they're invisible. So
So them just having someone.
Yeah, it comes in like this is a show for you, and I really like try to really make them feel good, you know.
Yeah, I feel like that's how many homeless shelters you think you've done roundabout number?
I stopped counting at 100, so I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
I'm past,
wow.
Like, I don't know, dude. That was, but COVID really slow. I would have been like past 200 at this point, but COVID.
100's a lot. That's a lot more than what I was thinking you were gonna say.
It's a lot. There's been a lot. I don't count like multiple. There's sometimes multiple locations of one, or that's just one to me.
Okay,
There's
so
been a
you've
lot.
probably done 200 shows at homeless shelters.
Probably, yeah.
Wow. And you've been doing comedy 10 years, and you're 32.
Yep.
So you've done open mic. You've probably done every type of comedy there is probably at this point, like open mics, paid shows, features.
Yeah. I haven't performed for like a huge 1,000 or more, or
Right.
800 or more. I really would like to see. Like, what is
Yeah.
that? What is that? Can I connect?
I
Still,
want
or-
to know too.
I'd love to know what that is.
I would love to know what that is.
Yeah.
And then if you bomb in front of 800 people,
It's terrible.
it's like that much more. Fuck,
Yeah.
dude. Have you seen live comedy shows like of famous comedians, like
Yeah,
been
lots.
in the audience of thousands of people?
Not thousands, but I was at the Comedy Store for like a year and a half constantly, and I would always see.
How was that? How was the Comedy Store, man? I've always wondered.
It's it's cliquey.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on. I wasn't sober at the time, and I regret not being sober. And I'm not I was just high a lot.
Yeah.
I was drinking.
Yeah.
And I really regret that, but I think that ruined it for me. But you learn a lot, you see a lot of stuff, but it is very, very cliquey. And
That's kind of how Dead Crow is, but I don't
but
try
it was
to.
on another level.
I'm sure it is L.A.
'Cause
right?
This
Isn't
is
it
like
L.A.?
life-changing stuff, you know.
Yeah. For like these people could get on a fucking movie and be a star
Yeah.
from doing a stand-up set.
But it's slow. It's not like some guy's gonna come in. So there's like this. There are these little like war zones being fought in there. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Tell me about this, dude. What do you mean? Like people fighting for stage time, pretty much?
Fighting for stage time, position, getting to know somebody that could. There's a lot. There's little cliques that if that clique doesn't like you, you could really have some issues.
Like they're in control of some things to do with.
It's like a regime comes in at a certain point. They're the ones in control. I think we had a little regime change here recently, so I don't know who the main clique is now.
I wonder, like the regime changes, like Rogan moving out,
Yeah.
and
Rogan's
Joey
like-
Diaz moving out.
Oh, I don't even know. He moved out.
He lives in Jersey now.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but Rogan brought a bunch of comics to Texas with him.
Yeah, that guy. I've just realized it now. It's like the Grateful Dead. This motherfucker, dude.
Dude,
He's got like a.
he's like, I mean, I think he respected Mitzi Shore so much and like just what she did for comedy that he wants to be that in Texas. Like he wants to be like open a club and support local comics and help people. And like it seems like he's all about like, let's build you up. Let's not tear you down.
I think
you
he's
know?
helped a lot of people.
I think he has too.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I don't know. I met him once, and not very briefly. He's so high. I tried to, pat him on the shoulder. He's very high,
Yeah.
so he's kind of freaked out. But I just said thanks. You know.
Yeah.
So.
So you've probably seen some heavy hitters at the Comedy Store go on
Oh,
stage.
yeah, I talked to that guy a couple times.
Dave Chappelle, no shit.
Yeah, he's very smart. He's like,
He's the GOAT, in my opinion, like greatest of all time. Like,
wow, yeah.
Richard
Well, I think
Pryor.
Richard Pryor's the best.
yeah, Richard Pryor, yeah, and then like
Lenny Bruce.
of our like
That stuff you got to wait a few generations.
you do, yeah, you're right. But like right now, I just feel like I think the thing with Chappelle is like now he's the only person. Him and Joe Rogan are the only people with a platform big enough to impact the entire country.
Yeah, they have a huge voice.
Huge voice, and
Yeah.
for the Dave Chappelle to do some of the jokes like he did on his. Have you seen his new special?
No, I haven't.
All right,
No.
I loved it. And
You liked it?
Yeah, you could hate it. I don't know,
Oh, I
but
don't know.
but like it's very insightful, and it's fearless, and it's like it could change society basically. And like his voice, like his platform's so big,
Yeah.
and his jokes are so well thought out. I don't know, dude. Like he's always been like I will be listening to him and just captivated. Like he just captivates me, dude. Is he kind of like that when you talk to him?
No.
Just like me and you.
Yeah, but like very clear, like clearly well read.
Yeah.
When I was talking to him, just his vocabulary. Like the guy probably has read a lot.
Yeah.
And just very nice, helpful. He'll answer any question. It was nice. Very
That's so
thankful
cool.
to have met him. First time I met him was really cool. I was in like the back of the original room, and I was looking at a receipt, and I thought it was maybe something in on it, and I just like hear somebody say, "Those don't happen to be jokes, do they?" And I was like, "No."
And it was him.
Yeah, it was
Holy shit.
pretty cool.
That is so cool. So what did you think when you turned around and saw it with Chappelle?
I think I just said, "Holy shit!" I don't know.
He said those don't happen to be jokes, do they?
Yeah.
Is that what he said to you?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy, dude.
But then you see them a lot, and then also you can like start to see the fact that fame has a big factor. Like when somebody's that famous, it's a big contributing factor of how people perceive him and what they say or her. So when you see them a lot more, it doesn't have as big of an effect on you. Then you start to see like, oh, this is a person, and then you're not necessarily as starstruck.
Yeah.
So
I feel like podcasts have done good for that. Like you
Maybe.
can listen to somebody and really see how they kind of are, you know. Like you don't know them, but you realize like, oh, this is just a regular person just like me. They're just super funny and they can write jokes and they know how to do comedy.
Yes.
I don't
They've been
know.
doing comedy a long time. And they also have a huge machine behind it. I mean, people have to like realize Dave and even Joe, like they had big companies behind them at an early stage. Like Disney, I think, was behind Joe for a while. He had like a development deal with them.
Yeah.
And Dave signed Young. So they had a lot of, it's different, dude. They have a lot of power. And
So comedy now is so much, don't you think? Like it's so many people, or it's just like, is it the internet where you're?
so many people doing comedy? What are you trying to say?
Well, I mean, you can hear anybody pretty much that you want that's ever done comedy and recorded it. You can look it up and hear it.
Yeah.
So
there's a
that's
lot of
different
stand-up.
than back in the day when you had to go to a movie theater to watch Richard Pryor special.
I'm sure people probably do understand comedy a lot more. The audience probably has a bigger understanding of humor.
Podcasts, me listening to podcasts is why I tried comedy, because I always had these thoughts and I like to write. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of funny, and I like to make my friends laugh, you know, but what I'm thinking, like my comedy is nothing that I would use to make my friends laugh. Like this is, I feel like an audience is kind of like, and I don't know shit about comedy, bro. I've only been doing it for 2 years, really like a year and a half because of COVID.
Okay.
Like it's minus like 6 or so months of nothing. Maybe it was longer than that. I don't know. But
sense of time is
dude, I mean, probably 2.5 years I've been doing comedy, and about half of that no comedy. So 2 years, and like I feel like an audience is a person, and like I have to get that person to like me and then make that person laugh. That's kind of how I look at it. Like I have to look at it like an entity or like energy in a room. It helps me most of the time, and then sometimes I realize like this person doesn't like me.
Yeah.
Like this person does not. Like I had a really bad set 2 sets before Cadillac. Like I had a bad set, and none of my jokes were hitting, and I doubled down on the whatever it was they didn't like. I was like, all right, fuck you motherfuckers. Like I got you. I'm gonna double down, about to gas it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just I pretended like they liked me and finished the set and was like, thank you, you guys love me, I appreciate it, and put the mic. I put the mic on the thing. But normally I would be like, okay, and I'd put the mic and I'd walk off the stage. I'd be like, you guys, thank you, and I'd stop like 5 minutes in if I'm eating shit. But like this time I doubled down and did like 13 minutes, and I was like, all right. So that's what it feels like to really not do good. Like I really felt it. I've had a really terrible set at an open mic before, but it's kind of to be expected at open mics. Like you're going to try new jokes. You're going to try to figure stuff out. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I've had a bad set open mic, and then I've had that bad set that wasn't a paid show. I didn't get paid, but I was on the show and did not do good. But it was like, I guess, you know, I learned that I don't have to run. Like when I dig myself into a hole, I don't have to put the mic up and run if I don't want to. I can just stay up there and try to dig myself out.
Yeah.
Just not that good yet. I just can't dig myself out of a hole if I dig myself in off gate yet. I'm just not that good of a comic yet. So it's like, it gave me good experience, bro, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I can see.
Like, it made me more comfortable not getting laughs. And I don't know if I should be comfortable not getting laughs. Okay, because, I feel like I can't there's no way I'm going to get laughs on every joke all the time. There's no way. So, like, I have to be comfortable. And I have to learn how to build bits to get maybe a bigger laugh by taking a loss somewhere down the line.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just now figuring this shit out. And I guess every comic could be different.
Yeah, but I think that's great. All the stuff that you're conceptualizing and thinking about it more.
Yeah.
You're not just reacting.
It's super interesting to me.
It is.
Like,
you know what I did for a long time? I kept a notebook of these ideas that you have.
Oh, like what I'm learning.
Yes.
I haven't even wrote any of that down. And I should write. I should really try to learn something every show I do and write something down. Like, what did I do well? What did I not do well?
But like, this is a big idea that you discovered. So that one you might want to keep.
You're right.
Because you might forget it.
Yeah. No, you're right. And you can definitely forget it. Get lost in the sauce.
Lost in the sauce.
Lost in the damn sauce, boy. I'll get up there and start. Really, I do really well when I'm having fun, and I feel super comfortable at Cadillac Ranch, and I have fun out there. So, and I can try new stuff and be cool with it if it's not the greatest.
That's good.
I just think we have to, you have to practice in front of people.
Yeah.
You can't practice your comedy just in front of me because I'm not going to give you.
No.
Don't you think? Like, you have to practice in front of an audience, kind of?
Yeah, that's why I do the guerrilla stuff, to get in front of people, not just comedians, you know?
Yeah. No. Okay, that's what you meant by that.
Yes.
So you don't want to just be telling your jokes to comedians because that's not like a real audience. Those people are just as fucked up as you are.
Yeah, they're real fucked up. They're like people that have watched too much porn. That they're into some weird shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and not everybody's that weird.
Yeah, not everybody's that weird. Like, that's why some comedians will go with like a lot of comics for a while, especially with Jeffrey Epstein was a big deal. They were just doing so much pedophile material. They're like, and they'll come to maybe like something a show I set up. These people have parents, like they have kids. They don't want to hear about. They don't want to hear about that shit, dude. They have families and they can't relate to that kind of stuff. They're not consumed by that crazy shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want to relate to just people, regular people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I felt like you did a real good job with that at your Cadillac Ranch set. Because you're in a room full of bikers.
That was all bikers?
Pretty much, yeah. Those are like country ass, like people who own a shit ton of guns for the most part, like Second Amendment right.
I perform for a lot of those people.
Yeah, me too. I do good at shit like that because I'm from like right in the middle of North Carolina, like bumfuck. You know, like we don't have shit. Like that's where I'm from, right there. So it's like there wasn't anything to do but like ride 4-wheelers and shoot shit.
Yeah.
You know, and like have fires and campouts and.
Sounds great.
Yeah, that's what we did growing up, play in the woods. We played in the fucking woods growing up.
Is your kid, is he getting out? Is he playing?
Oh, yeah, he loves being outside.
You got to keep him away from that phone for a long time.
Oh, yeah, so he watches probably about 30 minutes a day of media, I would say. Sometimes I come home and she's letting him watch it while he eats. I'm like, hey, we got to put that up. We got to.
It's a habit, man.
And we got to, be conscious of what we're eating. Let's be conscious of let's enjoy this food and be conscious that we're feeding our body. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I know it sounds like some hippie
mind.
shit, but I just feel like if I'm looking at a screen, I'm just like, it happens to me on the couch.
I thought you were, but you're also feeding your mind. The stuff that you see and consume, read, it will definitely affect your thoughts.
100%.
And probably your actions too. But
Yeah.
for sure your thoughts. And then everything is really, you might not know, but there's so many commercials and things that are really trying to affect your thoughts. They're trying to get you to buy things or sway in a certain way. It's just, it's a lot. There's a lot. You're consuming so much of it. What are your beliefs really? If you just lived your life and interacted with people and did things that had real effects, would you even think about Donald Trump or Joe Biden? Would that even really be a...
I forget who the president is half the time, bro.
I think he forgets.
He does. I don't watch any news because I just can't. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I'll find a fun show to watch or a old movie. I like old movies. I like 80s, 90s movies, whenever there wasn't special effects so much. And then I like the early special effects when they look terrible. I don't know. I just like stuff like that. But, yeah, no, I try to... you're right, man. Like, all right, so those things affect our thoughts, and our thoughts always eventually are going to affect our actions.
Yeah, and as a comedian, it's going to affect your material.
Absolutely.
You'll see like some comics, they'll just talk about fucking daytime TV. That means they watch daytime TV, or they just watch TV a lot. So that's not that interesting.
No.
So,
Yeah. And where are you from? Originally. No,
I
originally.
was born in Bosnia.
Bosnia, that's right.
Yugoslavia, technically.
Yugoslavia. Holy shit.
Doesn't exist anymore.
So it used to be Yugoslavia.
Used to be.
And now it's called Bosnia.
Yep.
I don't know anything about this shit, so I'm going to sound really stupid.
Okay, nobody does.
Okay. So it used to be Yugoslavia, now it's Bosnia because of a war. You were talking about a war, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what war was this?
Well, the Bosnian War.
Okay, it's called the Bosnia War.
But it really was a few different conflicts after the big country of Yugoslavia broke up. Big, relatively speaking. It was like maybe 3 U.S. states.
Okay.
But for Europe, it was a big landmass.
Yeah.
They broke up. Bosnia didn't have many resources, and a lot of people died. But there's a history of that area of concentration camps and just some fucked up shit going back to like pre-World War I even. So it was pretty bad. I was in a camp as a little kid. Don't remember it like when I was his age.
Really?
Yeah, bad things were going on.
But you remember being there, or
No,
you were
I don't
just
remember.
told you were told you were
I
there.
was told about that. I think I
By your
vaguely
parents?
remember a UN tank or something. Yeah, my parents.
Your parents were like you were in a camp for however long or something.
Yeah, but it was just we were just taken prisoner and people got killed and stuff. So I
Holy
guess that's a camp.
shit.
I don't know.
Oh hell yeah! It sounds like a camp to me. A bad camp.
Bad time
That sounds like a
camping.
terrible camping time, dude. Yeah. So you're 4.5.
Yeah,
And then you-
something or like 2 to 5.
So a
was like
little
when all the-
tiny kid.
Yeah, I was just seeing
Wow.
messed up stuff. I guess.
Dude, that's crazy because I think about all the time how every little tiny thing is such a big impression on that little brain. Like,
You know, the biggest impression on him will be that you love him.
yeah, oh
He
yeah,
feels loved.
yeah.
But yeah, you're right. What were you gonna say?
No, I mean I think about that shit. Like I beat myself up sometimes about ways that I talk to him or certain ways I say things. I'm like, why? Well, you could have been way nicer about that. Like that's your son, bud. Like that's how I talk to myself.
That's good.
I'm like, come on, man, tighten up. Like that's your son. Like stop expecting that he knows everything when this is his first time seeing shit and hearing shit and feeling. Like you got to think this is his first time feeling a feeling like anger or like I'm sure he's felt anger a few times, but we felt anger millions of times, like or
Yeah,
thousands
we're
of
used to
times.
it.
Yeah, we know what it is. We can identify it and we can go from there. But he doesn't even know how to identify it. You know, so I think, and that's where she comes in because she has so much compassion and empathy and love, and it's like, oh, I can learn from her, like how to have empathy and love, and remind myself that maybe like this little person, is feeling this for the first time and doesn't know what to do with it, and like we're like that probably all the way up till we're teenagers, and even sometimes an adult. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? What am I feeling right now?
Yeah.
Am I angry? Am I sad? Am I resentful? Am I whatever? Because all those things kind of melt together sometimes for me, and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, it just comes out like that. But
That's great that you're a great dad.
well, really, it's fear. Like a lot of what I get angry about is rooted in me being scared of something not going my way, or really, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of like being scared it's not going to work out exactly how I want it to. Which time and time again, it's proven to me that it doesn't need to work out exactly how I want it. I don't need to be molding the pot 24/7 with my hands in the clay, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to catch everything you throw at me, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm learning, bro. I'm 31 years old and I'm trying to learn how to do life.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make a negative impression on either one of my sons, you know, like just because I expect a lot. He's super smart. So I'm like, all right, you know this, you know that, and he doesn't know a lot of stuff that I'm like, you should know this. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I don't think you should know this. I think we need to help you learn. That's just crazy that you went through a damn camp, like young like that. And I'm sure.
I mean, it wasn't the whole time we were in camp, but it was a war. So
Still, that happened to you as a child. That is wild. When did you move to
America?
Yeah, did you come straight from Bosnia or to America?
Yeah. some people went to Germany and then they went to. If you went to Germany, you probably went. Maybe you had some money and you left before the war. I think we could have left, but my dad decided to stay because he wanted to, I guess, fight in the war or whatever. And so we stayed, and then after all the conflict was done, we went to got to be refugees. Went to Croatia, so then we were technically refugees, and then we got to New York City.
So Croatia's right on the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
So Bosnia is next to Croatia. I know I've looked at Croatia on a map.
It used to be one country, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because Croatia's got some bomb-ass food. And I think I told you that when I saw they have a Croatian restaurant.
Cevapi, remember?
I need some cevapi. You said it was turd food?
Turd food.
Turd food. Give me some of that turd food,
it looks
baby.
like a turd.
Cevapi. All right, yeah, but Croatia, like I'm thinking of the Mediterranean Sea, and then you got Italy across, right?
Yep.
And then Croatia on this side, or across the pond from each other. And so you went to Croatia.
Oh, just for a little bit to get out and go to America. I think that was the.
So you cross over to Croatia, and then you can go from there to America.
Yes.
So what made your pops or your mom and pops decide to go to America?
I don't know. I think they were like probably dreamers. I think there was another option to go to Switzerland, which probably would have been nice.
Yeah, it's kind of sick. Kind of sick sounding, dude.
Sounds good over there, dude. Our cousins are doctors and stuff. I never met them, but I'm like, doctors.
So your cousins went to Switzerland?
Some sort of family. It's so when that happens and when you leave a country, the family's it's split. You really don't
so
have
sad.
much of it. It is very sad.
Sad.
There's a lot of very, very sad and a lot of stuff going on when you leave a country. The family splits. You lose so much of your identity. Communication between me and my father not very good. He can't speak English. I speak Bosnian. So there's this like communication gap.
So he's in America.
Oh yeah, my parents are here, but there's a lot of effects when you're an immigrant, and like the family and the language is a big factor.
That's crazy because you gotta learn English when you come to America.
Oh yeah, like your kid can learn any language he wants within like half a year. He would be speaking that language.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I need to get him on them damn Hooked on Phonics tapes, boy.
Mexico, dude.
Send him to Mexico. That'd be valuable. He'd probably turn into like a cartel member or some shit, little badass.
See him on the news.
See him on the news with a face tattoo, a Dolly Parton face tattoo.
What the hell?
He's like speaking with a Spanish accent.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Little kids can learn that fast,
They
dude.
can, yeah, they
So
can
you
learn so
moved
much.
here and learned English like
Very quick.
damn.
Yeah. I can kind of barely remember now. I think I have this memory of this little girl who used to bully me, and she would blame stuff on me or something, and I would get in trouble. But I couldn't.
In America, you're
I couldn't
saying.
defend myself because I was.
And this was in school?
Yes.
Okay. So you went from Bosnia to Croatia to America.
Yep.
And where in America did you go?
New York City. So.
Oh shit!
Queens,
So you went wow,
Yeah,
straight into the damn.
That's where they put us. And we were like the first family of this program. Like the guy that was like the director of it, he met us at the airport. And I can kind of remember like maybe riding the taxi and seeing all the big lights. It was like,
It's probably pretty overwhelming.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were how old during that?
I think just turned 7.
Okay. All right. So that kind of I just want a picture in my head, and then for people listening, like 7-year-old riding in a taxi cab in New York, looking around like, wonder what do you feel like you may have been scared at all, or you were just like excited, like stoked
I don't
about
remember that. These are really fragmented memories. I can't remember. My memory's not that good.
Nah, mine's not either. Like there's certain things that stand out in my brain from when I was I remember when I was 3 years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
3.
weird. I guess I remember when I was 3 years old and I went to this place called Tweetsy Railroad. You ever heard of that? Okay, so I just took my kid there. We just took both of our kids there like 2 weeks ago, and it's this fucking coal-driven train. So it's like an old school.
Nice. I would love that.
It's an old school train, bro, and like there's people playing role play like cowboys.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, and so like they have like 6-shooters and spurs and like there's cowboys on the train. There's like little set up towns and you ride.
I loved it.
Yeah, he loved it, dude. And I remember when I was a kid, like these dudes scared me. Like they were rough looking dudes. Like now it was like college kids doing it. But when I was younger, it was adults, and they were like had like scars, like maybe face painted scars, but like rough looking dudes. And I remember one dude hands me a bullet. He hands me a bullet, and I think this is what my parents told me. I said something about bullet, and like they've always reminded me of that. And I'm like, maybe they're helping me remember or giving me a vision.
I think
of
some of this stuff is like that.
Like they're helping me remember a memory that they remember.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I don't necessarily, but I do remember this. When I was 4 in preschool, there was a sandbox, and it was full of rice and beans, like uncooked rice and beans. So it was in the class, right?
Okay.
And I remember I don't remember actually taking it, but I remember that I ended up at home with rice and beans in my pocket. And I felt terrible about it. And I remember being outside by my mom's like rose bush. She had an old like 14-year-old rose bush out there. I was sitting beside it. My dad came outside. I'm like, Dad, I took this from school. And he was like, well, you know what the right thing to do is, right? And I'm like, and he said, take it back and put it back in the sandbox. And, you know, and he didn't tell me to say I was sorry or anything. He's like, just take it back to school, put it back where he found it. So I remember I did that. Okay. And then he did the same thing, brought a little toy home from school, and he was 4, he was about 4. Yeah, he was 4. Brought a toy home from school, and I'm like, all right. And I remember doing the exact same thing that my dad. I said, you know what you got to do, right? And he's like, you got to take that toy. He told me, yeah, but he didn't know what he was supposed to do. Okay. I was like, you got to take that toy back to school. You got to give it back, and you got to apologize to the teacher for taking the toy because it wasn't yours. And he was like, okay. So he puts it off for a couple of days. I forget about it. I'm like, where's the toy? He's like, oh, here it is. I haven't taken. I'm like, well, let's go. We're going to both go in there, and we're going to talk to your teacher and tell her we're sorry that we took the toy. He's like, you could tell he was like, didn't want to say it, didn't want to look her in the eyes, but it was good because he learned that when you do things wrong, you have to. That's the one thing my dad didn't make me do, which, I mean, shit, might not have made a difference at all, but I think that when you do, we're going to do things that are wrong.
Yeah, sure.
So we have to say we're sorry, and we have to say I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I did this. Like, how can I make it better? Or here it is back. Like, I messed up. You know what I mean? I just thought it was a cool, but I do remember that from being 4, and I don't remember much after that, dude.
Yeah, I don't know, and it's hard to know like what is a real memory, and what are things that you were told.
Yeah, I know the sandbox is a real memory because I was not told that. But I think the Tweetsie Railroad joint could be. I remember Indians and cowboys fighting. Like fake fighting. I feel like I can see it. But it could be like dreams that I've had, you know. Because sometimes dreams feel... Like if you have a reoccurring dream, does it ever feel like it could be real to you? Or it could,
sure, yeah.
Like, or it could happen or could have happened. Is that... You ever have reoccurring dreams?
Not much anymore. No. I used to have like shooting dreams. I've been shot in my dreams.
Like you can't do anything to defend yourself type thing?
Yeah, I've been stabbed too. I've been stabbed in a few. Those are the worst.
Oh, and you feel like a sharp...
No, I didn't feel it. I just always like, why? I remember I was bleeding out in front of the movie theater. Just asking me, why'd you do that?
Why me? I don't want to die.
I hate stuff.
That would be a bad way to go, I feel like, getting stabbed up.
I got shot once when I was swimming in my dream.
Shot? Oh, okay. I'm about to say, holy shit, dude. This is crazy.
So, I mean, it was very nice, actually. It was very peaceful. I remember, like, sinking down, like, this is great. This is relaxing. Dying.
Shot while you were swimming?
Yeah, swimming. And it was very nice.
To die like that, you're saying?
Well, I'm not sure it was terrible, but it felt good. It felt, like, really relaxed.
That's great, dude. I've never heard of a dream like that ever in my life. That's great.
But not many recurring dreams anymore.
So you come. I want to just get back to your story. You come to America, and you're 7,
Yep.
right? All right. So you come to America, and then what is your life like? What's your childhood like in America?
Well, then you're American. If you're a kid, you're pretty much That's what
you're it.
You're that. So school. Walking to school, I remember, because I probably did that a bunch. I used to get this candy at the store on my way to school. And it seemed like such a big walk. I'm sure it was like 2 blocks.
Yeah, but it seemed huge.
Yeah. The journey to go 2 blocks. So I remember New York a little bit, and then we moved to Michigan. My parents get a job in a factory, so they start working in a factory, and that's where I grew up for most of my life.
Michigan.
Yeah,
Cold.
sure.
It's cold in Michigan.
Yeah.
Seems cold to me.
There's two colds. There's Upper Peninsula cold, which
That's
is
real cold.
Who the hell
You might as well be fucking Canadian.
You might as well.
Might as well, you damn Youper. Isn't that
That's
what they
right.
call them?
They act
Youpers.
like Canadians.
They do. I've got a buddy from the Upper Peninsula, and he's got a Canadian accent.
Yeah, and they're very nice.
He's very nice. Yeah, he is.
They're great. And then there's Lower Peninsula, which is like, it gets cold, but it's not that cold.
Right. Is that where you were?
And it's like the hottest. It gets hot in the summers. It gets cold in the winters. But you get all the seasons
Okay.
to a good degree.
So you're around the Great Lakes.
Yeah,
Okay. And that's where you grew up.
that's where I grew up. But not a conventional like Michigan upbringing. Just now, like my family's starting to go up north. So my parents go up north, and I love seeing it. But we never did that. I remember like my friends would go to their cabin. I just could not, like, why are you going up there? You got a cabin? What the hell's a cabin? Like, you guys have
Yeah,
another
what is
house?
that? What does that
What
mean?
is that? What are you talking
Is it
about?
like a vacation?
Yeah.
Oh, they
what does that mean?
vacation.
Oh, so they have, they'll have like they'll own a cabin.
They vacation where it's colder.
No, in the summer, you go up there and it's amazing.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful. There's hunting, there's all, and then in the winter, I think they have like snowmobiling, and
Oh, nice.
it's really nice.
Yeah.
Probably be a lovely place to grow up if you could get used to the cold.
So your parents are just now starting to go up north.
Yeah, we never did that.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy for them to like, they're finally like doing things.
Yeah.
For when you're an immigrant, you come to a country, you just work. You're pretty much just a laborer, and you work way too much for a shitty amount of money. But now they get to experience that. It's so cool.
That's dope. You talk to them a lot?
Not a lot.
Every once in a while?
Yeah. We
Okay.
keep in touch.
Are they worried about you at all, what you're doing? Because you're kind of you're living out of your van. Let's talk
Yeah.
about your van. Let's talk about what you're doing now. What made you decide to go on the van tour, bro? Is that what is there a name for this thing?
Well, now it's sort of like, not really. I've just been doing it for so long. But
How
there
long
is
you been
something,
doing it?
It's called the Socks and Undies Comedy Tour. So the shows I do that are scheduled and booked, audience members have to bring socks and underwear as their cover charge.
Okay. For homeless people.
That's right.
Sick.
Yeah, and the venue, if they keep their word, they pay. Yeah. So the venue pays, people bring stuff, sell merch, people tip. So you make some money.
Yeah.
And then the homeless shelters are scheduled first, so around that. But how long have I been in a van?
Yeah.
Over 5 years.
Wow.
When I was in LA, I had an office.
Had an office.
I had an office.
Doing what? An office like you
To
rented?
have a space.
Oh, you
Yeah.
rented the
I
office.
rented the office.
To live in.
No, I could, and they told me you can't sleep here, and I did not. I did not. I slept in an alley, in the van.
Yeah.
And there's a bed in the back.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not bad, the sleeping. It's terrible. So I slept it's the worst. My life sucks. But so I slept in this alley, and then the alley was like, it was by this highway, and every morning I wake up, and it was like an airplane crash or something, because it was like a wind tunnel and off the highway, so just all this like random trash, or just, it really looked like a freaking airplane crashed. Just random shit like in the alley, and I'd wake up like, what the f is my life, dude?
There's just trash everywhere from the highway.
Well, from the highway and
tunnel.
the wind, and it's
Just
like,
blew
it's
it right
an
up in your alley.
Yeah, in my alley.
In my alley.
This is my, yeah.
So that's in L.A.
That's what I was living like, yeah.
Damn.
The office.
What made you decide to leave there?
Well, I wasn't getting to perform. It was so, I wasn't in. Like I wasn't in the clique at all. And I was kind of like an outsider to a pretty strong degree. And I really didn't want to, I didn't like hanging out. I still don't like, I'm not a big hangout person, period. Like I like doing stand-up.
Yeah.
I like being creative.
That's what you love.
That's what I love.
Yeah.
I don't, the hanging out is, I miss comics if I don't see them for like a few weeks, and then when I get to see them again, I love it.
Yeah.
It's so nice to be around funny people again. But to be hanging out every night, comedy store is great, but like after a certain point, it's like, what the hell am I even doing here?
Yeah, I'm cool with it once a week.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang out, but like once a week.
There's people that do this every night. Just hang out.
I just can't. Like even without a family, I want to be by myself.
Dude, that's what I wanted too. And then I realized I wasn't performing a lot, and I wasn't making any like progress as far as like networking and navigating that world. So I'm like, shit, dude, I might as well just figure out what works for me. So I left. Yeah. But I really do regret not being sober. By the way, nobody's sober, but I
In LA.
me not being sober.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I left. And then I wanted to just figure out how to make this like enough of a living to just live at least off of comedy. Maybe I won't be, the biggest star, but at least to do it.
So you just love comedy. You love doing comedy.
I do love comedy.
Yeah.
I love making people laugh and seeing people happy.
Yeah.
And it's changed now with the shelters have changed my perception of it drastically, really.
How?
Well, I was like really, I thought everything of comedy for a really long time, and I thought it was like the most important thing. It's really not that important at all. It's very cliquey, and it's like this world in of itself. It's a big world, but there's a whole outside world, and you can use humor to like interact with it. That's what I like, and it's not as important as I thought it was. But I've never been doing more of it. It's never been a bigger factor in my life. So it sounds like I've kind of not stopped doing it, but I've just stopped. I don't revere it anymore. It's not like this magical thing. And also being in that city and seeing like how it kind of some of the behind the scenes stuff works, and it's really not that magical. There's a lot of like bullshit about it. That's it's not based on anything regarding the art of comedy, like being funny or. So that kind of made me. And I might have even stopped it if I didn't start doing stuff like this. I might have stopped being a stand-up.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just so much bullshit.
Especially L.A., I mean.
Yes, but a lot of it.
I feel like around here, people are pretty cool.
Around here, it's amazing.
Yeah, people are pretty chill
dude,
and
I've
cool.
gone into cities and like I've scheduled stuff, and I've had a hard time booking people for paid shows because they're just like in their own world. Like, who are you? I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, you're nobody, and I'm not anybody.
Exactly. Let's like try to do this thing. And I try to always help too in cities. Like when I leave, I try to pass on all my contacts. If I met like venue owners and I know local people, so I might not even go back there. I like tell them, look, this is a place you could go, and this is who you should talk to, and maybe
You're
set
like,
up
here's
your own
the
show.
plug, dude.
Exactly. Or like I'll bring them on, and I always like introduce them. Like, this is you guys maybe can continue this. Here's somebody to do it with.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they don't always perceive it like that. They're fucking crazy. Like they're so competitive and so in that world, and like a lot of them think they're going to be famous. It's not going to happen for almost all of us.
Yeah, almost all of us.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, but they don't see that, and I think at one point I was like that too. So, I don't try to get mad. I just kind of keep a healthy distance, because they get.
It's
weird.
not really being in reality, really. It's
Not
being
at all,
living in a
dude.
reverse fucking fantasy world, bro. It's
a
like,
fantasy world.
holy shit, what are you talking about? Like, have I even spoken to you yet, or have I just spoken to your ego this entire time?
You see that?
Like, yeah, where are you at behind all that bullshit? Because I still can't see you.
You really perceive that when?
Oh, yeah, dude. That's why I don't fuck with people too much. Like, the guys you met, like Brad, I didn't know really any of the other comics. I know Sean, the guy that I was talking to, and I was like, we were both like, hey, man, are you okay? Like, you seem sad, you know?
He's all right.
Yeah, I hope he's all right, too. But Brad's like, and Chase, he's not really a comic, but, well, he is a comic because he's been doing stand-up and he likes it and he's working on it, you know? I think, what do you think makes you a comic? Like a certain amount of sets or hours or getting a laugh, or just if you say you're a comic and you do stand-up?
There's different levels of it. So,
Yeah.
like, if you're doing open mics, then you're an open mic comic.
Yeah.
If you're being paid, then you're a paid comic. If you're touring, you're a touring comic.
Okay, yeah,
But
that's...
there's different versions. And then if you're a person that has an audience, then you're a famous comic.
Right. Like if you have a following.
Yeah. And there's different levels of that, too. You know, there's people that have a following in one particular area, or... So it's just a lot of different versions of it.
Okay, that makes total sense. I've never thought about it like that. I've always thought it was either black and white, kind of. And it's not. No, it can't be.
Yeah.
It can't be.
Yeah. I mean, compared to like Dave or something, none of us are comedians.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that would. But then it's all, we're working pretty hard at it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, but no, the ego thing, I definitely that's why Dead Crows I like to do an open mic, dude, but like I don't want to sit there for 3 hours to do 3 fucking minutes, and it's like I know that I just don't have that type of time to sacrifice at this point in my life. You know what I mean? So like when people put me on shows, I'm super thankful. And I'm like, yo, I hope you don't care if I try some new shit because like I'm trying to I haven't had time to do open mic, so like I really want to try. I know I probably should be doing those. Like if doing comedy was the only thing I did, I would do open mics like a lot more. Yeah. But the thing about that, and no, I'm not talking shit about Dead Crow. I'm just telling you my perception of how it is. Like it's cliquey, and it's like if I'm not gonna sit there and listen to your horse shit for fucking 10 minutes, then you're gonna skip me in line or push me back. It's like. I'm not going to pretend like I like you. I'm done trying to like people. Like, if I don't like you, I don't like you. I'm not going to try to like you. Just bottom fucking line, Like, and I pretty much can tell within 5 minutes if I'm going to like somebody or not. And I'm not going to be rude to you, but I'm not going to go out of my way to talk to you and listen back to what you have to say either,
I get it.
And then it's like I just spit on the mic, dude. I'm up in here spitting, boy. But the ego thing, I'm just like, come on, dude. Like, I just want to be like, hey, man, were you hurt as a child? Like, can we talk through it?
Those people are they can be real gatekeepers sometimes.
Yeah.
They get in these positions and like, God damn it, dude, it's not that serious. And they kind of run it now.
Yeah.
Maybe it was always like that. I don't know.
Probably was.
I guess so.
It probably was because back in the day, if you didn't get on Johnny Carson, you weren't shit. For the most part, or if you didn't have a sitcom or a movie.
Yeah, and I'm sure his booking people probably they abused their power and stuff.
Oh, they definitely did. They definitely made people do sexual shit, dude, probably. I mean, I don't know for sure, but probably definitely.
I'm sure at that point it was a lot more prevalent than it is now.
Yeah.
Now there's maybe that'll change.
Well, the cool thing is if this podcast ever turned into some sort of deal, like if it ever turned where thousands of people are watching it, nobody can tell me what to say. They can just take me off of YouTube, but then I have everything. Like I don't need a producer. I would like to have a producer switching camera angles and shit, but I don't need that. I can just do everything myself. I don't need anybody. So I don't have anybody telling me what to do at all. If I want to have Elvis, a dude that I just met at a comedy show from fucking Bosnia, you know what I mean? If I want to have you on the podcast, cool. And if you start saying some crazy ass shit, then I'm just like, hey, dude, that's some crazy ass shit. Maybe you shouldn't say that,
Yeah.
or whatever. But I don't know. I think now is a super cool time. Yes, shit is oversaturated, and there's a lot of people who are trying to do a lot of the same stuff. But I think it's cool that you can literally go online, pick out a topic, and listen to shit you don't agree with, listen to shit you agree with, shit that's not influenced by pharmaceutical companies or government or what. Because some countries, bro, everything you hear is influenced by the government.
Yeah, it's checked. Yeah.
You get nothing. You get no real human feedback or interactions or reactions. It's all government. So we're lucky, man. And I feel like now is a cool time to be alive and to be doing comedy and talking to people and podcasts.
But there's still certain topics that are just not even visible to us.
What do you mean?
That we don't really know what's going on with the military. What do they?
Oh no,
they do. We don't really know that.
Hell no, they don't even really know half the time.
Yeah,
They're
there's
just
security clearances and stuff, and I'm sure that's abused, and it has been. Now it's been proven that it's been abused. And then there's the higher you go and the bigger of an audience, you can't just discuss certain things. It's just not allowed.
That's why I like the Chappelle special so much.
Yeah,
because his audience
really pushed it.
Yeah, he pushed it, bro. Because did you see Sticks and Stones?
No, I'm telling you, I stopped because you're such a big influence.
He's such a big influence. Like, you're just like,
I wanted to just stop. Like,
bro, when I
I've
watch
stolen
it, I'm
enough
like,
stuff
what
from
am I
him.
doing? Am I doing comedy? I'm like watching him, like, what am I even doing, dude? I'm writing dick jokes. Like, this dude is like full circle. You know, I don't know. But I don't know. I just appreciated that he's on a platform that big and is saying things that people are scared to say.
Yeah, he's taking the chances.
He's taking the chances. He called it Closer. His last one was Closer. He's like, this is the last one I'm going to be doing for a while, I think, folks. Because he knew how people were going to react to it. Like, we're in a sensitive kind of time, I feel like.
Yeah, but it's weird, though. We're in a sensitive time, but also still most people are regular people.
Yeah.
The majority of people are still okay with discussing almost anything.
Yeah.
But they might be influenced. They might be worried about discussing it. But them, like one-on-one, they probably agree with most of the stuff he said. I'm not sure what he said.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they would allow him to say it, and they're okay with it. But now there's like that other voice of people that are really sensitive. They've gotten so much. They've gotten a lot more power, and which can be a really good thing, because like having a minority voice to have power is good, but it could maybe start to get abusive in its own way.
Yeah, for sure. There's always like that line.
Yeah.
Like, we're always towing a line of some sort, and there's always a flip side to the coin. Like, we see one thing, but
you and I should not be afraid of saying whatever,
no.
because there's so little of an impact we can have anyways.
Same. I feel
Might
like
as
the
well
bigger
just-
you get, the more you have to watch what you say, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I hope that, like, if I ever had any kind of traction when it comes to, like, an audience, I hope that I could remain myself.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. It's like, can you just be who you are? Because that's who the people liked in the first place.
Yeah.
They didn't like you being different because of money or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I see a lot of people change because of money, not comedians, but I don't know any rich comedians, but like business owners and things of that
You've
nature.
seen them change.
Yeah, like money changes people when they start get some people, and some people are just the nicest people ever, money or no money. Sometimes money makes people nicer. Like this kid I grew up with, his parents, absolute nicest people I've ever met in my life, would just give and give and give, Meals on Wheels and this and that and this and that all the time, like doing something positive for the community, the people who had less than them.
Yeah.
So it's like those are the people that give me hope.
There's a lot of those people.
Yeah.
I interact with a lot of those people with some of the shelter stuff.
That's cool, man.
So I'm like constantly seeing people help other people.
That's sick. That's got to have a positive.
It's a great impact on you.
Yeah, that's cool. I'd like to do some shows with you. Those shows you asked me to do, I'd like to do them. I can't promise you I'm going to do good, but
I don't care.
I'll try. I'll try to do 5 clean minutes, and then on the other one you said the bar doesn't have to be clean.
Just the bar.
Yeah, it's the bar.
Yeah.
Elvis Ali.
Yep.
Man, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
doing the podcast. You guys go follow Elvis on Instagram. Follow him. You got a YouTube channel?
I do. Yeah, it's on my website. There's a link to it. It's big. It's the big YouTube.
The big
logo.
YouTube.
Yeah.
So ElvisComedy.com.
.com.
ElvisComedy.com. And yes, it is spelled like the king, Elvis. That is it, guys. That is it. Elvis, thank you so much.
Keep doing your podcast.
Yeah, I
It's
love it. I love to talk to people. I just got to know you. I got to know geographical shit too, you know what I'm saying? So that was dope.
great. Nice.
Thanks for doing the podcast. I'm sure I'll see you at a show soon.
Yeah, I'll see you this week.
You guys, thanks for watching. We love you.
Hunt for greatness.